The scriptures say that we are saved by faith and not by works. What does it mean that we're not saved by works? What are works and what is works-based salvation, right? Works-based. So oftentimes when people interpret this phrase works, they will take it to mean something like any physical human effort. So if you have to perform any physical effort to bring about your salvation, that is considered works. But that's not really what the phrase works means, either in scripture or in the early church or in our common living. So suppose that the government were to send out a check to all people under the poverty line that would give them $10,000, like a welfare check. All they have to do is go to the bank and cash it, and then they will get the money in their accounts. If they were to do that, we wouldn't say that it wasn't welfare, that they earned the money because they worked for it. They didn't do the work because they didn't do what was actually necessary to obtain that money. It was handed to them and they just had to do some minor things to obtain it fully. And that is also how scripture uses the term. So for God to come down and offer salvation to us, that is offered to make us Christ-like, via much simpler actions than the perfection that would otherwise be necessary, that's not works-based for us to have to engage in these physical actions. So Matthew 6:15, Jesus says, if you don't forgive others, you will not be forgiven. Galatians 5:6 says that nothing counts except for faith working in love. And then obviously James 2:24, we're saved by works and not by faith, or justified by works and not by faith alone, right? So when scripture says that we're not saved by works, what it means is that we are not bringing about salvation fully of our own efforts. And anyone who tries to do that will fail and will not be saved. We unlock salvation by following in the things that Christ told us to do out of trust in him. That is what faith means. So it's not that, oh, are we saved by faith or are we saved by works, or faith versus works. Works are part of faith. You should think of the term faith in scripture as meaning something more like being a faithful spouse, not thinking of it as in, I believe that the sky is blue. It's not like that. It's not an intellectual head belief. It's a continuing commitment of the person moment by moment, day by day, that makes them faithful to Christ. And that is what the term means. We're saved by faithfulness and not by trying really hard on our own, you see. So works-based salvation is not when physical actions are required for salvation. Scripturally, it is when you try to earn the Christ-likeness completely of your own effort,